Hey guys, welcome to the Jake Barrena Show. So I'm so excited because I've taken about a month off from doing episodes. One, life's been crazy, life's been busy. I feel like I wanted to evaluate the episodes I've done thus far and figure out, okay, has this been good? Like I know personally I've enjoyed it. The guests I've had on the show have had really good responses. Their audience have had really good responses, but I just want to make sure that I'm being as effective as I can to encourage people, to lift people up. See, my greatest aim is to see people win and to see them live their best life. And that sounds super corny and cliche, but I really do. I want to see people win. So after taking some time off and really evaluating, discussing with people what would they like to see, I'm excited about this new restart to a switch and a change. Instead of the stereotypical, we're going to have a guest speaker, which I still want to do that. Like selfishly, I love having a guest speaker on the show and being able to have really good, authentic, deep discussions where we just kind of lay it all out there. And that's the premise of the show. I think for this episode, it's going to be a little bit different. After evaluating with some recent clients that I've been able to engage with, some coaching clients, and then also some audience members from the show. One of the things that I've heard from the audience is they want to hear a full explanation of what it is to live a Carpe Now life. If you didn't know, I wrote a book called Carpe Now 10 Habits to Master the Authentic You, Eliminate Excuses, and Seize Your Best Life. And so fundamentally, I hear people laugh and kind of snicker about this whole idea of carpe diem, carpe now. They're like, "What is that? Carpe now?" Like if they find me resting with my family, chilling, relaxing, taking in some R&R, they're like, "Wait a second, is that carpe now?" And I normally reply, when in fact, yes, this is Carpe Now. Carpe Now is about seizing your best life. And that looks different per person and per season in your life. And depending on what exactly you're going through in not only your week, but in each day. We need to rest. There's days you need to rest, and there's days you need to go. There's days you need to move. So today, I really want to break down what it takes to live a carpe now life. What does that even mean? And everything is itemized in my book. So you can either A, go get the book. I don't meant this to be a plug, or you can just go ahead and listen to this episode and I'll explain everything. The book's a little bit more rich, a little bit more in depth because it's 200 pages of breaking everything down, some really good stories, some really good outlines. But again, I just want to give you a quick snapshot of what it is to live a Carpe Now life. So first and foremost, to live a Carpe Now life, you have to be authentic. You have to be the authentic you, the you that you were designed to be, and only you. And so that's hard, right? Because when you live in this world, which is crazy, it's insane. There's so much going on. There's so much confusion with social media and with all the different outlets we have to ingest information. We're constantly being fed what to believe, what to think, what to evaluate as to who we are. But I think fundamentally, discovering the authentic you has nothing to do with all that information, with all the stuff around you. It's the way God designed you to be. Now, you might believe in God or you might not believe in God, but just bear with me if you don't believe in God. God designed us for a reason, and that reason is very specific. We each have duties. We each have things that we are good at, that we are talented at, and we should utilize those abilities. Now, this doesn't mean I don't want to get into a big philosophical discussion about predestination and God ordaining every little moment. Yeah, he knows exactly what's going to happen, but it still comes down to us and our choice. Are we going to utilize the gifts, talents, and abilities that God has given us? Or are we going to sit back and just recline and say, nah, I'm take it easy. Like, I don't want to do those things. You may be aware of talents, gifts, and abilities that you have, and you're not utilizing them. So to live a Carpe Now life, fundamentally, you have to be authentic. You have to be who you were designed to be. And I believe that once you live that authentic life, then you will be living a Carpe Now life. And in my book, I broke it down into basically 10 authentic habits. You master those 10 authentic habits, and then boom, you're going to live a Carpe Now life. Now, before we get into those habits, fundamentally, you have to start and gauge your level of presence. See, some people are so stressed out with today and worrying about tomorrow and the past, and everything's just clumpled up on them that they're just, I can't even like begin to think about whatever it is about these like authentic habits or these little idiosyncrasies that most people might not focus on because they're so bogged down with all that stress. So first, scale of 1 to 10, where is your presence? Are you a very present person? As in maybe you're at the gym, you're working out, or you're going to perform a task and you so happen to run into a friend at the gym or the gas station. Are you present enough to where you sit in that moment and you have a genuine discussion with them? Yeah, I understand that we all have places to be, but let's just say you had 5 minutes to spare, 10 minutes to spare, 15 minutes to spare. Do you sit in that moment and do you try to engage with that person? Maybe you notice in them there's a frustration, there's an anxiety, there's a fear, there's a resistance in their life. Do you recognize that and say, maybe I can offer some encouragement. Maybe I can offer some advice. Maybe I can point them in the right direction. See, it takes a present person to be in the moment with each and every interaction. Now, on the opposite end, if you're not present, you're so consumed with self. You're so consumed with your world and your anxiety and your fear. And that person has a hard time digesting any kind of information because it's overwhelming. Now, where's your presence? Now, if you're not choosing to be present, I want to encourage you right now to be in the moment with me, right now to hear all the words that I say. So this might not apply to you, everything that I say. You might sit there and go like, boom, I got fitness. Like, man, I know how to persevere. I'm all about growth. I love growing. Well, that's fantastic, but bear with me, humble yourself. I always think about God, that being Jesus. Again, I'm a Christian and I believe that Jesus was God. And one of the things, whether you believe that or not, just hear his words. If he was God, he was with his disciples at the Last Supper. He's sitting down with his disciples. He's having a discussion, and everyone's arguing about who's the greatest in the kingdom? Who's the greatest in the kingdom? And they're really talking about like themselves. Like, am I greater than, is Peter greater than John? Like, who's the best here? Which is funny because we all do that, right? I do that. And Jesus is like, hey, like who's greater? The person reclining at the table or the person serving the people at the table? Because he said, I didn't come to recline. I came to serve. And it's like, boom, mic drop. Again, you believe in Jesus or not, that's profound. Let's just consider he was the God of the universe, God coming down in human form. And he said, I'm not here to be served. I'm here to serve. Whoa. That's profound. That's intense. So you got to go, okay, wait a second. It takes a level of presence, a level of engagement. So right now with me, choose to be present. Choose to be in this moment. And if you can take in these authentic habits, I guarantee you can seize your best life. Does that mean your life's going to be perfect? It's going to be peachy keen all the time? No, it does not. My life is not perfect. I have so many areas in my life that I'm blessed, spiritually blessed. I have an amazing relationship with God. It's not perfect, but I got an amazing relationship with God. I got an amazing relationship with my wife and with my kids. So relationally, I have some amazing friends. I have some amazing community members around my chosen family. My health is really good. There's so many areas that are overflowing, but then I have other areas that struggling. Like right now, financially struggling. I'm just going to be like candid and transparent. A part of being authentic, you have to expose who you are. And I'm exposing the fact that financially, it's really tough right now. I've been in seasons in my life where God has financially blessed us with millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But I'm not in that season right now. Now God has put me in a place where he's like, hey, you're going to be challenged right here. And I'm doing everything I can to be able to break through. I have faith. I know that God's going to get me through. So I'm not saying that life's going to be perfect, but I'm just saying if you choose to take on these identities, of discovering the authentic you and these habits, then you will live a Carpe Now life. You will live your best life. As cliche as it sounds, you're going to live an extraordinary, amazing, abundant life, even with adversities. And I got adversities, like I said. So, habit one, foundation. What is your foundation? For the sake of time, I don't want to sit here and I can make this a several day seminar for each one of these habits, but I only have so much time. So, what is your foundation? This authentic habit is about discovering your core, your unshakable ground. Through coaching a lot of people over the years, this is something that I get straight to, which is, hey, what's your foundation? You might not know what that is, but let's discover what it is. And I have found out with a lot of people, their unshakable foundation to them is either their faith, so the God that they believe in, or it's their family. Now, those are great foundations, especially the God one. But whatever your foundation is, it's not for me to choose. It's for you to choose. You have to figure out what is going to be your bedrock. As in, when you're going through a difficult, challenging season and it's really insurmountable and you feel like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this, it's your foundation that is your bedrock. It is either something that is unshakable and it holds you up, or it's blown away and you crumble and you give up. So discover what that foundation is. How do you do that? If you don't journal, if you don't meditate, if you don't specifically spend time with yourself, you're not going to know any of this stuff. So it's not enough to listen to this little podcast episode and go, yep, boom, perfect. Carpe Now life. Here we come. No, it's not about that. What it's about is spending quality time with yourself like you would someone that you love, someone that you cherish, like your parents or your brothers or your siblings or your spouse or your partner or your friends or whoever it may be. You want to spend time with yourself. Ask yourself questions. What do I value most in my life? What are my favorite relationships? What are the things that frustrate me? What are the things that get me excited? And when you ask enough questions and you probe enough, you will come up with the truth. One of the tactics that I have used to discover the foundation for a lot of my clients is this. It's an exercise. Close your eyes. And maybe you're driving, so don't close your eyes because you're going to get in a car accident. But close your eyes and let me take you on a journey. I want you to discover something new about yourself, specifically your foundation. So imagine yourself in a desert all alone, and it could be the mountains or it could be camping. It could be a place of peace. But basically the point is you're in a desert. You're all alone. Everything's stripped away. All of your friends, all of your family, your career, your hobbies, your possessions, your clothes. You're naked. You're literally in a desert all alone. You look around to your right and left and you're like, it's just me. Now, do you sense anyone with you? Do you sense comfort? Do you sense a strength? Because when I do this, I sit there and go, I'm never alone. I got God. I got Jesus. He's here. He's never going to leave me. He's told me that in his word. He's proven that in my life the last 24 years. But at the same time, that could not be you. When I do this exercise with people, sometimes I'll ask the question, okay, so we strip everything away and it's just you. You're all alone in the desert. Do you sense a presence? Do you sense a strength? Sometimes they go like, no, I don't really sense anything. Okay, well, what if as I'm taking these things, like someone is physically taking your clothes and they're taking your belongings and they're taking your friends and your family, what do you get territorial about? Like, don't take my stuff. Don't take my Bentley. Don't take my house. I love that house. Because if your foundation is possessions in the form of clothes, materials, houses, cars, I'm telling you, that's not unshakable because you ain't bringing none of that with you when you die. So you need to find something more unshakable. And for a lot of my clients is, wait a second, like, you're not going to take my mom. You're not going to take my kids. You're not taking my wife. Well, think about that. There's truth there. Maybe your foundation is your family. It's your support system at home. So your foundation must be unshakable. Once you discover that unshakable foundation, like for me, it's my relationship with Jesus, it's my relationship with God. boom, you're ready for the next authentic habit, which is mission. Now, mission is very special because when you discover your specific calling in life, at that point, you're going to be unlocked. You're going to be, you're going to be in a place where you are completely exposed for who you are, and all of your passion and all of your excitement will be known, not only to you, but to those around you. So think about it like this. You know your foundation. You're dialed in. You're like, got an unshakable foundation. Now that I have this foundation, what do I do with it? Where do I go? What do I do? So that's your mission. That's your calling. What's your specific calling? Like, I am called to encourage and to love people. I love shepherding people. I love coming alongside them and saying, like, how can I serve you? Sometimes it's just to listen. Sometimes it's to give them words of encouragement. Sometimes it's like, hey, my toilet's backed up. Can you plunge that thing? It's a little gross, but yeah, I'll do that for you. Maybe it's something else. I want to serve. Why? Because my greatest role model is Jesus, and he came to serve. And so I'm here to serve. I want to be like him. I want to walk as he did. I am Jesus's disciple, and I want to make disciples as he's called me to make disciples. But I want to love on people. And again, like, it doesn't have to be people of faith. Like, do I love people of faith? Absolutely. But do I also love people that don't know the God that I know? Yeah, I do. Do I have a difficult relationship with some of them? Yeah, I do. Because there's personalities and we clash. But I would hope in that moment where I really get to test my mission, or I really get to test my love for people, is towards people who hate me, who despise me, who don't know me, who who don't want to be in my presence. And those people, it's like, man, can I love that person? Because if I can love that person, now that's love. Now that's service. That's my mission, is to give back to people. Specifically for me, my mission is to build a legacy of authenticity. Because if I build that legacy of authenticity, boom, not only in my life is it going to be the best, but for my kids, for my wife, for my community. And I want the same gift that I have, where I have a joyous life. I have a life full of excitement. I want that for other people too. I want that for my kids. I want that for my wife, the love of my life. I want that for my mom, my dad, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law. I want that for everyone. But at the same time, without living out my calling, I'm not going to be able to do any of that. So once you know your foundation, you know your mission, then it's like the exciting part. What's the blueprint? That's your framework for success. So this is habit 3. Your framework for success is, okay, this might be a little analytical for some people. It doesn't have to be so like tailored, but if you're an entrepreneur, you know what a business plan is. If you're an interior designer, you know what a game plan is. You know what a blueprint is, to say, okay, like, I'm going to go ahead and design this home. I'm going to tear down this home and I'm going to rebuild it back up. You got to have plans. You can't just like figure it out as you go. So what you have to do is sit down with yourself, a pen and a paper or a computer, and you basically say, okay, boom, let's dial this in. Number 1, what's my foundation? You got to know what that foundation is. Number 2, what's my mission? Okay, I have my foundation. I have my mission. How am I going to accomplish that? Think about it from a business perspective. For instance, I've spoken with clients that are mothers, and their mission in life is to be a mom and to love their kids, to teach their kids, to come alongside their kids, to be the best that they can be for their children and for their husband. Now that's a beautiful mission. If that's the case, how are you going to do that? Like, effectively, like, how am I going to do that? Well, maybe I got to treat my husband with kindness and respect. Maybe I have to give my kids space so that they can grow, so that they can become adults. When you sit down with yourself and you put together a framework, I am telling you, you're going to look at it and go, whoa, I didn't realize there's something I do that maybe I shouldn't do, that's not supporting my mission. Now, if you choose to do this, beware, because you will learn new things about yourself. You set aside time where you put together this framework. It might be challenging. It might be hard. And a part of this thing in discovering the authentic you is to put yourself in an uncomfortable place. So be up for the challenge. I don't have time to go through what that complete framework looks like. If you get Carpe Now, you'll see the exact framework, or you can reach out to me via my email, office@barrenacorporation.com. And I'm more than happy to break it down for you. I'm not looking to charge you for this. I'm just looking to say like, hey, this is how you do the blueprint. And I'd be happy to do that. Again, my email, office@Barrena, it's my last name, corporation.com. Be happy to help you. So beyond blueprint, perseverance. This is habit number 4. Now, perseverance is something that seems obvious. And it's like, wait a second. Okay, perseverance. Why are we talking about this habit? Well, we're talking about it because you're going to meet resistance as you're living out this life and you're choosing to be who you were designed to be. What's going to happen? You're probably going to walk around with light. You're probably going to walk around with an aura about yourself. Not an era, but an air about yourself. And that might offend people. People might be frustrated about that. You're going to have circumstances in life that are going to be challenging. And if you don't persevere, you're going to give up on your mission. You're not going to follow the blueprint. And fundamentally, you're not going to live your best life. And this thing called Carpe Now, in seizing your best life, you really got to put in the work. This isn't like Carpe Now. It's not a slogan. It's not a mission motivator, which for me, it's a mission motivator. It's a separate conversation and topic, but it is more than that. It is something you must actually chisel away at. And I like to think of it like this. Perseverance, you need the 2 P's. It's preparation and it's practice. Preparation is this. You might hate running. So you go for a run because it prepares you for the things that are hard. You might hate working out. Well, you go work out because it prepares you for the things that are hard. You might hate reading, opposed to like my wife. She loves reading. She reads a book a week, practically, no joke, like an actual physical book. She's a studette. But at the same time, that conditions her. That's not always easy. Even though she loves it, she sometimes meets resistance, and that is preparing her for the future. So do the thing that you don't want to do, but you know it's the right thing to do, like work out, take care of yourself, diet. These things prepare you for the future. They challenge you. Maybe it's to go to an escape room. Maybe it's to do some sort of relay race. Those are hard, right? When you do the things that are always easy and they don't make you uncomfortable, you're not going to grow. It's that simple. That's why you see people that are 70, 80, 90 years old and they're stuck. If you choose now to be challenged, as in to put yourself in an uncomfortable place, what's going to happen? You're going to be different next year. You're going to be different in 5 years, in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. You're going to be a different person. See, I've made many mistakes in my life, and I just try to learn as best I can, pick myself up and say, okay, like, how can I humble myself and improve from this situation? And that's because I put myself in uncomfortable situations. I've tried to do things that didn't always pan out, but I've tried. And I'm not going to give up. So preparation. Next is practice. And this one's pretty simple because practice is going to happen whether you like it or not. I actually had a very challenging discussion today, and it was uncomfortable. It was difficult. It was with one of my clients. And with that, I don't really care for those discussions. I'm not like super excited to have challenging discussions where I call people out and or I get called out. In this instance, I did not get called out, but it's like, hey, this is not what you should be doing. And this is someone that is not only a client, but it's also a friend. So I got to approach the situation with a delicate manner. So the practice, it's going to happen. Almost daily do we have interactions that are challenging. We're going to meet resistance. Just know that if you're preparing, that this practice that you're going to have to experience, it's going to be a lot easier. So prepare, because the practice, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. And you want to be prepared for that. Next is fitness. So this is habit 5, fitness. So for some people, this is very easy. I go to the gym every day. I go 7 days a week, and sometimes I go twice a day. So I work out 7 to 14 times a week, sometimes actually 3 times in a day. It's kind of like my time with myself. I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to go to the gym and just soak in the sauna, maybe stretch. I'm going to go hit the weights. I can sit here and break down an exact science for you, but it's not about the science. See, what it's about is moving your body. I'm sure you've heard this. Movement is medicine. And it's true. Movement is medicine. If you want to be at a place where I got a couple of young kids, and I was just telling my kids the other day, I'm just so grateful that I get to move around with them and run around with them at the park and do things like that because they saw a dad at the park that was severely overweight. And it seemed like he was just like chilling, but he was like several hundred pounds overweight, which my heart goes out to him. He's not taking care of his body. I don't know what's going on in his life. I don't want to put those judgments or assumptions on him, but the reality is he's not able to enjoy the quality of life that he could if he was fit. So moving your body is super important. If you need help, speak to a friend that knows about fitness. I guarantee you have someone in your life that knows about fitness. Or if you got the money, hire a personal trainer. That's a great way to go. I found on the coaching front, being a coach, that the more elite a person gets, that the more high level they get, whether it be in fitness, athletics, professional sports, or entrepreneurship and business, the more coaches they have, the more they realize, like, man, for me to scale up, like I'm going to have to hire the best of the best. So like for me, I'm a mindset coach and I work with people that are already very successful, way more successful than me financially. Like they blow me out of the water, but it's not about the finances. They're struggling to get to the next level because they have a mindset issue. And so I help people get to that next level, whatever that next level is. And so it's a great idea to hire a coach, get a fitness coach that can come alongside you and assist you and help you and get to that next level. All in all, you could just do this. Go outside, move your body, do some push-ups, do some sit-ups. You can look online. It's really easy. Move your body. If you move your body, it's going to be very easy for you to be in a place where you can genuinely be the authentic you. But you can't be the authentic you if you're overweight and out of shape. Even if you're someone that's not overweight and you're skinny, but you're totally out of shape, or maybe you're consuming foods that you should not be consuming, and your internals are not doing very good, your organs, your body's not functioning properly, you have high blood pressure, cholesterol, you're on tons of synthetic pills. I'm not saying don't do those things. I'm just saying like some of these things cause severe issues in your body. Your fitness, think of it like this. It's like brushing your teeth. Do it every day. It doesn't have to be that you go to the gym every day, but you have to be mindful every day of fitness. And that's why I've always said fitness is like brushing your teeth. I do it once to twice a day. There's some people in the world that don't have the ability to brush their teeth. So maybe this doesn't apply to them. Maybe they have to think of a different hook or a different line, but most people brush their teeth. It's like brushing your teeth. You got to do it every single day. Habit number 6 is community. Now I love this one because it's about finding your chosen people. Now, you might have had a very difficult, challenging relationship with your parents. We all have parents, right? It makes sense because if you don't have parents, you probably weren't born. So you have parents. Maybe you have one, maybe you have two. And then you maybe have siblings. Maybe you have people in your life that were not so savory towards you. Maybe they abused you. Maybe they ridiculed you. Maybe you don't accept them as family, and that's fine. That's why community is your chosen family. I love my mom. I love my dad. I love my in-laws. Little difficult relationship with my father-in-law, but I love him. I love my brothers. But at the same time, I also have people in my life, friends that I call family, that I have said, these people, they're my family. I trust them. They trust me, and I want them in my life. So I would encourage you to go out there and find your chosen family. Chances are, if you're an extrovert like me, it's pretty easy. You probably have a lot of people in your life. My only advice to you is, are those relationships deep enough? Because me being an extrovert, at some point in my life, I really reflected back and said, man, I have like thousands of friends and meaningful friends that I have a connection with. But, but are they as deep as they should be? So you got to ask yourself that question. And on the other side, my wife, for instance, she's an introvert. And so she doesn't want to step out of her comfort zone and meet new people. So she might have very few relationships, but they might be a lot deeper. But maybe she's being called to meet more people. So if you're an introvert, step out of your comfort zone. I'm not saying don't do who you were designed to be, but challenge yourself. Remember, it goes back to that growth thing. You challenge yourself, you're going to meet new people. And maybe you'll meet someone that you will change their life forever. And maybe it's just the other way around. They'll change your life forever. And if you're an extrovert and you have all these friends, that's great. Good for you. It's not about your friend count. It's not about your followers. It's not about your network. It's about the deep, meaningful connections with people that you have in your life. So community, please, this is extremely important. This is your backbone. This is your accountability. This is how you have people that speak truth into your life to say, hey, maybe you're headed down the wrong direction. Maybe you're headed down the right direction. It's like, good for you. Next, habit 7, selflessness. Now, selflessness is about putting others first. For me, my greatest lesson in selflessness is and was my wife. So I've been married for 17 years, almost next month. 17 years, I think it is, September 27th. So a couple of months away. And with that being the case, when we first got married, it was really challenging. It was really difficult, but she was so different than me. And so I had to learn how to put her first. And now you might not be married and you might have no desire to be married. So I respect that. I'm not saying you should get married. I'm just using this as an example, is that I had to learn how to humble myself and say, you know what? I love my wife and God has called me to sacrifice myself biblically for her, to lay my life down for her, literally to sacrifice. Christ said that you must lay down your life for your wife, like I laid down myself for the church. Boom! Like, seriously? That almost gets me in tears. I definitely get goosebumps. I am called to lay my life down for my wife. Now, that's the ultimate sacrifice, to lay your life down for someone else. So, selflessness is about putting others first. Yes, we live in a me culture, a self culture, and self is very important, right? Spending time with yourself. But let me tell you, if you choose to put others first, I probably guarantee that you're going to take care of yourself. Why? Because the feeling you get to deny yourself, to love people, to lift people up, there's not much like that. Think of the most incredible people that you know in your life or famous people of old. They did sacrificial things and they put others first. They laid their life down for their country, for their fellow man, for a person. And it's like Romeo and Juliet. It's like, oh my goodness, that love is so deep. I anchor in Jesus and his ultimate love on the cross. I'm looking at the cross right there. It's actually over here. That is the greatest love that I know, is that Jesus laid his life down so that we may be sinless. And that is just such a beautiful thing. I'm unworthy of that, and I'm so grateful. So selflessness is huge. Next is growth. And I've already kind of talked a lot about it. This is habit 8. Growth is about saying, I'm a lifelong student. I'm an earth student. Going to college and going to some sort of school to gain an education where you typically memorize things and you're not actually like putting it to practice. That's great. Not going to knock that. I think education and college is amazing. I have friends that have their doctorates and it's like, boom, I aspire to get my doctorate. But is that the end all be all? No. Growth. Read books. I got all these books behind me right here. And I read between 30 and 50 books a year. And that's between Audible, so audiobooks, or physically reading the book. So I just encourage you to challenge yourself. Put yourself in an uncomfortable position to learn something new. And it's not just reading books. It's not technical information in all instances. It actually could be something different, like athletics. Like I love mixed martial arts. Why? Because to me, it's like an art. It's like a dance. It's a mixed martial art, right? But it's a dance. It's like, boom, I get to throw these combos, throw an elbow, take down, boom, arm bar. It's like, dude, so cool. That wasn't really an arm bar, but you get it. It's like a dance. For you, it might be dancing. It might be something like chess. Like physically, you're not using your body in that, but you're using your mind like crazy. So growth is about challenging yourself, challenging your mind, challenging your body to say, I'm a lifelong student and I'm never going to give up on this. Habit number 9, discipline. Now, this is huge. I have another book coming out. It's been finished for quite some time. It's just kind of sitting at the publishers, just waiting for the right time to launch it. It's called Legacy Blueprint. One of the things that I talk about in that book is called flexible discipline. Did I get you intrigued? Flexible discipline. That's a unique creative blend of exposing your creativity and then being disciplined. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but I almost want to. Discipline is this, is doing the hard thing and the easy thing consistently, doing it day in and day out. If you are disciplined with the gym, with that thing called fitness, if you're disciplined with your community, reaching out to the people. See, I do this in my life. I have people in my life, they actually, I think in some cases are annoyed with me, and that's okay. If you're listening to this, now you'll know why. I actively reach out to the people in my community just to shoot them a text, whether it be encouragement or just a call or just to reach out, because I know there's effort required in order to keep those connections alive. Not to say I'll lose those friendships, but in order to keep that connection, you have to reach out. You have to put in the work. And a relationship is a two-way street. It's not a one-way street. So with that being the case, be disciplined to do the easy thing. It's easy, and the hard thing. And if you do that, in the end, you will be successful. Habit 10. Now, this is one of my favorites because it's the cherry on top, is mindset. Now, what is habit 10 mindset? It's very simply this: to never give up. Because if you never give up, you're always a winner. You might fail 99 times out of 100, but the 100th time could be your win, or your win could be number one. And then you tried 99 more times and you failed. Just keep going because you'll win again. A winner is someone who never gives up. And that takes a relentless mindset to say, you know what? I'm not going to give up on myself. More specifically, I have a foundation, and that foundation should be unshakable. And if it is, boom, that's my bedrock. I have a mission, and I'm going to see this mission through. I had like I said, a very difficult conversation today, and this was the last thing that I wanted to do. This is the truth. Have this podcast episode and film this. I'm like, but you know what? It's called discipline. It's called mindset. And I'm here giving it everything I have in the moment to say, I'm never going to give up. So choose to do that. Choose to never give up. Now, if you take all these authentic habits, if you're present enough to take all these authentic habits and to say, I'm going to own it. I'm going to place it in my heart. I'm going to place it in my mind, and I'm actually going to do it. If you do it, you will live a Carpe Now life. And a Carpe Now life, hopefully you know what that is now. It's to seize the authentic you. It's to seize your best life right now. Again, sounds cliche, but it's not. If you put in the work, and if you put in the effort, and if you sacrifice, you will live your best life. And that is a Carpe Now life. And friends, I just want to see you win. I want to see you accomplish, and I want to see you get there. If you need any help with that, whether it be coaching, a pick me up, an encouragement, whatever that may be, and I'm not saying like I'm going to charge you for it. I just want to help you. I want to encourage you. You can reach out to me on social media, Jake Barrena, pretty much on all platforms, or you can shoot me an email at office at BarrenaCorporation.com, or just go to my website, Jake Barrena, Jake, last name Barrena.com. Reach out to me. Hit the submit form, the request form, and then let's touch base. I just want to see you win. And you could be doing 8 habits and you're missing 2. You could be doing 9 habits and you're missing 1. You could be doing none of the habits. But friends, let me encourage you. If you choose to implement these authentic habits, actually, if you reach out to me through my website and you say, I heard your podcast episode, podcast 10, podcast 11, whatever this may be, Carpe Now Life, can you give me a free book? I will send you a free PDF of my book. I would love to see you implement this into your life. And maybe it's not that. Maybe you just need to be encouraged with one thing. Well, hey, I'm willing to have a discussion with everyone. And I just call that a discovery call. Like, let me discover what it's going to take to help you. And it could be a business relationship. It could not. It could be something completely separate. I really just want to encourage you. I want to see you win, friends. So I hope you live this Carpe Now life. Seize your best life, because that's where all the good stuff's at. Love you guys.